On March 1st, 2014, 25 college students from Florida universities arrived in Nicaragua to work with people from an organization called AMOS to help people living in the rural community of El Abraje learn about the importance of hygiene as well as improve their access to clean water. In our early weeks of class, we discussed the importance of cultural literacy. A line that stuck out to me was the approach to volunteering as haves, or people that live a relatively fortunate life, giving to the have-nots, or people that live in an area of poverty and low income. Amos discussed the problems of this approach with the volunteers and placed emphasis on the idea that relationships with the people in the communities were more important than physical labor and meeting project deadlines. We got to work alongside the people in the communities as we painted the clinic and built a new latrine. Then we got to meet their kids and we volunteered in the classroom or played with them after school. However, everything came full circle when we finally got to see inside their homes and we went out to inspect water filters. A year ago, Amos came out to help install the water filters in the homes. The water filter is composed of different layers of sand that the water filters down through. If maintained properly, they can last up to 10 years, making them extremely sustainable. However, a year ago when it was installed, it was an open system. The clean water would drip into a bucket with no lid, free to be contaminated by bugs and the constant dust and dirt in the air during dry season. We've made note of this fault in the system and brought along collection buckets with lids to be passed out to every home in the community. This ensured that the water remained as clean as possible and effectively solved the problem. The next day, our team started to make trips out to their homes to see how well the entire system was working. While there, we would make sure the system was level and check that the water filter had no leaks. Some of the exit pipe seal had worn down and clean water would drip down the side of the bucket. If this was the case, we would reseal the area around the pipe so that no more clean water escaped. We also timed how quickly the water was filtering to determine whether or not it was performing at optimum capacity.
Ready?
Yep.
Go!
While there, we also interviewed the people about how well their water filters worked in order to determine how content the community was and where they wanted to see change. We asked them things like, how many people live in this home? How content are you with the quality of the water? And what issues have you had with the water filter? Their answers to these questions and additional conversations help us gauge how successful the community is adapting to these changes. All of the people here are in very similar financial situations. So the goal of all of the projects Amos completes is to encompass the entire community and make sure that everyone benefits. The water filters build a case for social capacity in the sense that it gets the community talking about clean water and hygiene. We brought recycled 2-liter bottles from the US in order to create a hand washing station they could pour their clean water into to use before cooking and after the bathroom. We also talked to kids at school about the importance of washing your hands and how to use the homemade stations. This creates conversations in the homes with children and adults about hygiene and why it is important. If a home in the community has not yet adapted to this method of hygiene, they can learn about it from their neighbors. Word of mouth is their form of social media. This project not only improved their quality of life, but it implemented sustainable practices within the community while creating a great foundation for long-lasting relationships and future projects in El Abraje.